Well, this is exciting. I can finally announce that the new Regen Rovers stadium is complete and we're back home in Winchester. Honestly, I'm so relieved. We're back in Winchester at last. We're going to be able to play our first Premier League season in Winchester because, of course, the last 3 seasons, all of which are in the Premier League, were played in Luton. 3 very successful seasons. We've got some great memories there, but it's great to be back home. 24,375 seater capacity stadium. Very good condition. That looks good, doesn't it? We're the only club playing here, I believe, as well as the under-23s and under-18s. Pitch perfect. Perfect pitch condition. It's good. Now, I do actually want to show you where the stadium is. So here is Winchester, beautiful city in Hampshire, the county town of Hampshire. And the old stadium was here. If I just go to satellite view. It was here, wasn't it? Or was it here? I can't actually remember. It was around about here. Now, Plumbing Park still exists. It's still our training ground complex. The new stadium has been built next to it. So we've still got the old stadium. You just have to visualise. Pretend it's there. Oh, it's really there. Of course it's really there. If you go there right now, I promise you, there's a great big stadium on this road here. Badger Farm Road and Otterbourne Road. Anyway, Plumbing Park, the stadium and the training complex is here. The new stadium... We'll say it's here, shall we, in this nice field here. So we've got 2 stadiums next to each other because Plumbing Park hasn't been knocked down. And I can prove that by showing you our facilities because the training ground is still Plumbing Park, a 9,054 capacity stadium. In good condition, very good pitch condition. It's not been used for years, of course. We've trained on it, I suppose. But there is a training complex next to it. We do have great training facilities and great youth facilities now, by the way. And they're continuing to be improved by our magnificent board who are paying money. I've not really shown you the board for a while, have I? But this is the board. Callum Carroll, of course, bought it a few years ago now. I think probably when we got to the Premier League he bought it. So he's the chairman. We've got the managing director, Chris O'Regan, which is it's a fitting name. It's almost like Regen, isn't it? Rob Chadwick, Adam Reynolds, Tyler Seeger, Paddy Savin and Alan Griffith Jenkins. Jack Young is still a minority shareholder, by the way, still involved, the original chairman, the original owner of this particular version of Regen Rovers anyway. Now, in today's video, we're going to be playing our first ever match in our brand spanking new stadium, and I thought I'd get a nice big team to play us in this new stadium, and it's going to be Real Madrid, which I think is rather lovely. So we've got Real Madrid on TV in the new Regen Rovers stadium. It's called currently... the Regen Rovers Stadium, I think. What's it called? Regen Rovers Stadium. However, I think there's a way, I'm pretty sure there's a way to change the name by changing like some code or something. I'm not entirely sure, but I know there's a way and I can work out how to do it. So, there's a poll in the description below. You haven't seen me yet. Hello. I'm here. There is a poll in the description below where you can vote for the new kind of who it's going to be named after. It can either be called Regen Rovers Stadium. Quite boring, but it's to the point. We know it's Regen Rovers, so I suppose it's fine. Or you can name it after me, because I am a legend of the club at the end of the day. There I am. Or you can name it after Mark Ball, our all-time top goal scorer, absolute legend. And I know a lot of you are disappointed he didn't play in the Europa League final. Maybe I'll get onto that a bit later. But yeah, so either me, Mark Ball, or keep it as Regen Rovers Stadium. Those are the 3 options. We'll hold the poll open for 24 hours, maybe 48 hours, I don't know, maybe over the weekend. And we will officially rename it at some point, if you want to rename it. Maybe you want to keep it as the boring old Regen Rovers Stadium. I'm not going to say you should name it after me, just because... Don't suck up to me, basically. If you want to name it after me, then great. If you don't, then Mark Ball is your man, I suppose. We won't have any of the other old legends from the previous series. They're just not relevant to this universe, are they? Anyway, Real Madrid today. Next episode is still not going to be the start of the season because it's going to be the Mark Ball testimonial and we're going to play Barcelona. Mark Ball's finally getting a testimonial. He's been here 10 seasons. He deserves it. He is the biggest legend of the series. Just above David Okoro. I mean, he is above David Okoro, let's be honest. Not made as many appearances, but he is just an all-round legend. So He deserves a testimonial and he deserves to play a big team. He's going to play up front for that one. He's also going to play up front today in our first ever match in this new stadium. I do need to introduce some new players to you though, because as you can see, I've played a few pre-season games. We've won 11-1. We had an American tour where we won 5-1, 2-0, 6-1 and 2-0. And you might notice some new names there. Or not actually, I don't think there are any new names there. But there have been some new signings and there have been a few players leaving the club. First of all though, let's pay homage to a legend of this series, and he is a legend. He's one of our own. Perry Miles has left the club, I'm afraid. He didn't really play much football in the last few years, league football, but he was playing with us regularly all the way up until the Championship. And he had a pretty good first season in the Championship, didn't he? So it's sad to see him go. He's our third all-time appearance holder record thingy, with over 400 appearances for the club and 25 goals in all competitions. Plenty of assists as well, probably. I should have posted something on Twitter about him. He is a legend. The other player, who's even more of a legend really, although he's made far less appearances, so maybe Perry Miles is more of a legend. But Ray Rigg, he's a scout and he's bloody awful. But I signed him anyway because I had to. I just had to sign Ray Rigg as a scout when he decided to retire from football. So he made 180 odd appearances for the club, which is under half of what Perry Miles managed. So I suppose Perry Miles is more of a legend. But Ray Rigg and his wig, still got his wig shop in Winchester, still cutting off all the players' hair when he can, and because he's staying at the club, he'll continue to cut everyone's hair off from time to time, I'm sure. He's dreadful, but we've got to keep him around. He can help Chef. He can help out Chef on the coach and also in the club canteen, I'm sure. So those two legends have either retired and become a scout or left. Perry Miles will hopefully find a club. Probably not. He'll probably retire. Also leaving the club, Paul Nyanja. We've made a bit of profit on him. $500,000. Not bad. Obviously, we've paid all the wages in the meantime, but still not bad considering he was a long way down the pecking order. So he's gone to Atalanta. Macaulay Simpson, our second choice goalkeeper's left because I've signed a new goalkeeper and there's no point keeping him around. He's moved to League One York City for £200,000. This one probably the most controversial of the lot. He's actually a very good player, Christian. He's played well for us in the 2 seasons. But a huge profit for a player that is second choice and a little bit injury prone at times. £23.5 million. Not all of that in one go. I think there's about 6.5 of that over the next couple seasons. But yeah, that's a good bit of business in my opinion. Although I didn't really have an idea who would be our backup right winger at the time when I sold him. But I have signed someone actually, but only on loan. Now coming into the club, hopefully you guys will be really pleased with this signing. Isidoro Rodriguez, £20 million up front, £30 million spread over the next 3 seasons, 10 million chunks then, £50 million in total. But he's worth it because he is an incredible centre-back. Last year he was insane. I don't have the results of the Player of the Season award from you guys on Twitter, but he did finish 3rd according to the game, behind Rios and Navarrete, and he was a player on loan as well, so that's even more impressive. He is stupendous, and I hope he continues his fabulous form into this season. Next up is a goalkeeper, Antonello, for £17.75 million from Fiorentina. He's been capped by Italy once, which is not bad going because Italy have loads of good goalkeepers, or they tend to anyway, and he's worth a lot more than we paid for him. He's on a high wage, joint second highest wage at the club after another new transfer that has come in. This guy looks good. He's better than Adrian Smith according to my coaches. Let's ask a goalkeeping coach because he should know more. Yeah, a whole star better if you believe in the stars. But his attributes do look good. And he will be number 1 unless he doesn't impress me. And then he'll be number 2 behind Adrian Smith, I suppose. But hopefully Antonello will be a solid goalkeeper for us. Next up, possibly the biggest signing for the club ever, although not the most expensive. Obviously Rodriguez is ahead of him and Matt Smith from last year, but Ivan Kotasek from Mexico, another Mexican to be friends with Rios, 43 caps and 1 goal for his country at the age of 26. He's come from PSG and he hasn't played a huge amount of football because PSG is always a tough team to get into. But he looks really good. He has developed into an outstanding talent. He's going to be our number one deep line playmaker, ahead of Tarasenko, ahead of Bruno Aguirre. He will be number one, alongside Van den Broek in the middle. Look at him. Look at those attributes. There's only 2, 3, 4 things below 10. Long throws, penalty taking, which are set pieces anyway, bravery and jumping reach. Everything else. He's physically brilliant, mentally fantastic, and technically pretty good as well. Good passing technique, vision, everything you want from a deep line playmaker. So I love the look of him. And most recently, 2 loan signings. Darren Brush, similar quality to Christian really, but he's going to be back up for Novak on the right hand side. He's come from Everton, so if we're signing a player from below us in the table really. But the problem is wages. I know I'm blabbering a lot here before we start today's match, but that's what happens at the start of during pre-season. I blabber a lot, so sorry. It looks like we're going to fail the FFP wage rise regulations. It's fine for the Champions League by the looks of it, but Premier League, I don't know what happens. What happens if we fail it? Do we get kicked out? Do we get points deductions? Are we not allowed to sign any players? I don't know. Obviously, our wages have gone up significantly since getting promoted to the Premier League, in particular the last 2 seasons. We're now spending £1.4 million on wages. And because of that, I thought I'd better not sign another. I don't have a huge amount of money to spend anyway, but I'd better bring in a loan transfer who doesn't cost as much money. We're only spending 8.5k a week on him for his loan duration. He's back up for Novak, probably. So not the quality that I'd really want, but he's English as well, so he fits with the homegrown quota. Now, a Belgian right-back has come to the team. 1 cap for Belgium at the age of 21. He's come from Real Madrid, who we're playing today, of course. And great signing, I think. He's not really played for Real Madrid, but I love the look of him. And to be capped by Belgium is very impressive. He's our best right-back. He's ahead of Rey Henriquez. I couldn't really find many right-backs better than Rey Henriquez. I've always found it difficult to find full-backs. And the same here. I was really struggling, so I'm glad I found a loan signing that can come in. The only position I do really need to improve is we need another left back, because Raymond Coos has also left the club, our backup left back. We've only got Matt Smith left, and he's a bit knackered at the moment, but he's going to have to play today. So yeah, I'm trying to find probably a left back on loan as well, because of the limited finances that we have. Anyway, the team today is this. New transfers: Laurent Rodriguez, of course, making his debut as an official Regen Rovers player. Kotasek in the middle, and Antonello in goal, of course. But on the bench, we've got David Okoro on the bench because new stadium, back in Winchester, just has to be. He has to be available, ready to pounce and take a penalty. Some other new transfers as well. And yeah, let's get on with this. I'm excited. I mean, I imagine the Real Madrid team will be pretty stacked. Mexico have some unbelievable players. I must say, Rios doesn't even get in the Mexican team, and he's superb for us. But yeah, this chap looks insane. Blimey, how are we going to stop him? On the left, Spanish player. Torres in the middle, he's been capped by Spain. Pew, an Italian. I'll look to try and sign him, actually. They won't be selling him, although he's not played much last season. Yeah, he was an option. But I went for Kotasek in the end. £40 million. Not all up front. I'm spreading out these transfers, which might not be good for the long-term finances of the club. But maybe I'm not going to be around that much longer. Depends, doesn't it? Hopefully we can push on, try and compete for the Premier League this year. Very unlikely, because Spurs are just insane. Same with the Champions League for that same reason. And obviously there's a lot more talent in the Champions League than the Europa League. Going to be tough. But we're going to give it our all. I've tried to sort of. We had a big squad for the Europa League. I don't think you need quite as big a squad for the Champions League. You just need lots of quality, and hopefully we've got a quality squad. I think I've improved the team. We've improved Kotasek. Adrian Smith was great and he was solid, but I think we've got an even better keeper now. Positions that we could probably still improve. Maybe the wingers. Oh! That froze for a long time, didn't it? But Navarrete's opened the scoring already. After 30 seconds, he scores the first ever goal at the Regen Rovers stadium. And look at it. I've ignored the fact that this is a beautiful stadium. Have a look at this. There's loads of people in this ground. It's still pretty small Premier League standard wise. But still, it's different, isn't it? It looks good. Look at all the Regen Rovers fans. loving life, loving the Regen Rovers stadium, and Navarrete has scored after 30 seconds. We'll have to wait for the first sort of competitive game. I think it's against Spurs actually in the league, so that's probably going to be a thrashing, which will be a shame. We've also got them in the Super Cup, so there's a lot of big games coming up. The biggest of all though is the Mark Ball testimonial. Have I got this on key highlights? Yes, I do. Here's Navarrete, can't win it, but Lens heads into Kotasek, the Mexican. Delightful ball out wide to Novak. Novak crosses it in. Mark Ball, he scores in the new stadium. It would have been nice if he'd scored the first one, but Navarrete, he's a new hero. Well, starting his third season for the club, of course. Is it his third? Is it his third? It's his third, isn't it? Yeah, it's third, yeah. Oh, lovely header from Mark Ball. That's why I'm playing him today. Because, well, firstly, I feel guilty because I didn't play him in the Europa League final, and I know a lot of you are upset about that. But secondly, he deserves to play the first ever match. Look, there's some trees. We really are in sort of southwest Winchester in a rural area. So the field next to us has had some trees planted up, I suppose. Here's Novak again. We're dominating Real Madrid here. Novak. Back to Van den Broek. Good ball into Novak again. Where's he going? I'm not sure even he knows. It's back to Laurent, our Belgian. And Lens saved. Is it Laurent or Laurent or Lauren? Is it a silent T? I don't know. Laurent. I think Laurent sounds nice. Well, we've played well so far in our brand spanking new stadium. We're not missing Luton, that's for sure. Here's Van den Broek into Kotasek. It's our first game in Winchester since the end of the championship. Crazy, isn't it? The championship playoff semi-final, I suppose. Blimey, that is a long time ago now. It certainly seems a long time ago. It's only 3 years ago, but it seems a long time ago. Anyway, 3 years is a long time, isn't it? A lot can happen in 3 years. Here come Real Madrid. Sayago has the deflected shot and Antonello mops it up. This is the Real Madrid away end, I suppose. It's not called the Real Madrid away end. It's the away end that consists currently of Real Madrid fans. And unfortunately, Van den Broek is injured. How bad is that? A lower leg injury. Now, I forgot to say, we've also re-signed Andrea Aloisi on loan. It didn't show up in the transfers because it happened at the end of last season. It's good to have him as backup to Van den Broek because he's a good player. We've got 5 central midfielders because Tarasenko and Bruno Aguirre as well. There's plenty of midfielders to pick from. Matt Smith, long throw opportunity, but he plays it short to Kotasek. And he runs, passes it to Lens. Back out wide to Matt Smith. Drives it in, and Navarrete, what was that goalkeeping? I'm not complaining. 3-0. This is marvellous. Not quite sure how we're doing this. I think we're going to have to make some changes though, because Kotasek's very tired. This is his first appearance for the club, I think. Don't think he's... Did he play a friendly before this? I can't remember. I can easily look. Oh, maybe he did. Although that could have been for PSG. No, I think he's... It doesn't really matter, does it? Right, second half. I'm going to bring him off. We're going to throw on Tarasenko. Matt Smith is dead. We're bringing on Mark Gale at left back. Out of position slightly. Gale with the throw. Tarasenko heads it into Lens. Lens. Oh, it's got in. What's the keeper doing? Who is this guy? He's completely flopped at that, hasn't he? He's just led it through his hands. And the ultras. I mean, where are the ultras these days? We need some new names. We used to have the flame pit, of course, but now with a new stadium, we probably don't really have a flame pit type area. I'm sure that all of the ultras will get together. We're going to throw on Safet Kalechi. Brush is going to come on. Darren Brush, and Sasakovic, I suppose. Oh, we should bring a Koro on, shouldn't we? He can revel in the glory of the new stadium. We're 4-0 up. This is unbelievable, really, from us. This might be their first game in pre-season, I suppose. Here's Brush into Aloisi. Smashes it over. Plenty of Real Madrid fans here, but they're going to go back to Spain very unhappy with this result. This is a famous win. I know it's only a friendly, but it bodes well for the Champions League, doesn't it? On comes Anthony for Mark Ball. Well done, Mark Ball, for getting your goal in the new stadium. It's nice to see, isn't it? Tarasenko with the corner into Gale, crosses it in, headed over. Well, thank you for watching this first ever match in the Regen Rovers stadium. Hope you got a nice view. Those of you that couldn't make it to the ground, you got to see it on TV. Oh, it's good. It's good. Really good start to life back in Winchester. 4-0 against Real Madrid. They had 3 shots. Very impressive. Who's their goalkeeper, by the way? Santi. He had a bit of a mare, I must say. It's nice. I'm just taking a look at the new stadium from different perspectives. Am I able to zoom out? I kind of don't want to ruin my... there we go. Yeah, I don't really want to ruin my camera angles that I have, but I'll do it anyway, just so we can have a look at the new stadium in a bit more detail. In all its glory, look at that. Some nice stands. None of the corners are filled in. We have the ability to expand it to like 40-odd thousand. So I suppose what we would do is we'd gradually fill the corners in. Because at the moment, it's a pretty old school stadium, isn't it? Which I like, but it would be nice for it to be filled in so all the sound stays in and it doesn't go out the corners. What else can we look at? Can we look at what's vertical? That's not a very good view. Behind goal. That's nice. Nice to see that we've got some big screens in the corners. Burger vans as always on Football Manager with the picnic benches. Hilarious. Sideline view. Can't really see much from there. 2D classic. Yep, good view. Oh, it's good. It's really good. I like it. I'm glad we're back. Van den Broek's out for... that's a real dampener. That is really bad. That is really bad. Okay. Centre specialist. He's got, well, basically a month until the new season starts. And then 5 months after. Oh, he's out till the new... That is a real blow. He's broken his lower leg. Poor old Van den Broek. That is a real shame for him. And for us. He's a quality at box-to-box midfielder. The thing is, interestingly, Andrea Aloisi is pretty much the same ability, according to my assistant. So, it might be okay. Where is my assistant? There he is. In fact, my assistant thinks he's slightly better than Van den Broek. We've put him above him. It's not great, but fortunately we do have cover. We've got Bruno Agger, we've got Tarasenko, and of course Aloisi, who will slot in there. But it's a shame for Van den Broek. Belgium wonder kid. Is he still a wonder kid? He's 21. I don't know if he's described as a wonder kid anymore. He's just described as a midfielder. He used to be described as a wonder kid. Andrea Aloisi was described as a wonder kid. I think when they get to 21, that's when that seems to cut off. They're no longer wonder kids, but they're both quality and. Oh, that is annoying. That's a real shame for Van den Broek and for us. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? My assistants decided that this guy could replace him. But we don't have enough money to spend. And he's a deep line playmaker. To be fair, Van den Broek's not really a box-to-box midfielder. Aloisi is more of a box-to-box midfielder than Van den Broek. So maybe this is his chance to really nail down that position. And even when Van den Broek comes back from injury, he might not get back in the team. I was tempted to sell him because he's valuable, but it probably would have been a stupid thing. Looking at him attribute-wise, he's not incredible, is he? He's not like the greatest midfielder ever. The one player I find really strange, Tarasenko, I really like his attributes. His passing, vision. He's really actually quite good attribute-wise. He's just never quite lived up to those attributes. But as I've said in the past, our midfield don't really get great attributes. It's hard ratings. Sorry, it's hard for them to really influence this team. Hopefully, Kotasek will change that and be really impressive. But anyway, thank you for watching our first ever game in the new Regen Rovers Stadium. Remember to vote in the poll below. Next episode will be the Mark Ball testimonial. That is big. And I'll probably show the first Premier League game as well. We might as well. And then the episode after that. Although, no, maybe I'll do an episode tomorrow showing the Mark Ball game. And then start the season Leeds and Spurs. I'll have a think. I'll try and... I want to try and get through the season, of course, before FM20 is released. As I've said previously, I still will maybe continue this. But it will just be sort of one episode every 10 days or every 2 weeks, something like that. If we win the Premier League and the Champions League this season, I think, or one of them, if we win the Premier League this season, that's probably a fitting way to end the series. Or the Champions League. If we win both, then it's definitely a fitting way. If we win the Premier League and Champions League this season, that will be the end. If we don't, then there's potential for it to continue. I'm going to stop talking now. You've heard enough of my voice. But thank you for watching episode 160 of Regen Rovers. I will see you very soon.